Yeah, welcome back. Still working on this landing gear plug. Now, last night on the Hangout, I molded a gear. This gear is carbon fiber and it's usable, but it's not what I want. I like perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken up the base by adding this carbon plate to it. And then we'll sand it in. We'll mold it in. And when I make this mold tomorrow, you'll never know that I did this, because this is basically just the example. It's not the finished product. So let's do that real quick. Then I have a question for my audience. I don't fly 40 size airplanes. So I made these gear for 60 size airplanes. What is the track width that you guys would like to see? Because I'm going to take that mold that I used to make this buck, and I'm going to cut it off each side and make a smaller gear for 35, 40 size airplanes. I want to make two styles of gear, and that's it. You know, if you want something custom, sorry about your luck. This is just too much work. So let's go ahead and get some epoxy and glue this. This gear has already been sanded. So, and this fiber here is ready to accept epoxy. So we'll do that. We'll get the epoxy out. 5 minutes. I don't need to. You know, this is not a structural piece that I'm doing right now, so it doesn't matter. I need some clampage. Let's see here. Where are the clamps? Of course, they're on the bottom. Why not? Get the clamps going here. I guess you guys don't love me no more. Ain't nobody on. But that's all right. We'll still put out the content. You guys can watch it if you want. And if not, that's okay too. So this set of gear here, I'll give you a width, and it will swing minimum 13-inch prop, minimum. And for the 40, we're going to make it swing minimum 11-inch prop. So they're both the same length, yep. I'm doing this just so your bolts lie completely flush. You know, I don't want any waves in the thing, so I'm putting this plate on it. And when I mold it, when I cast it, this floor will be completely flush. I like perfect. Let's do the inside first. I usually have a way bigger crowd than this. Like I say, I guess you guys are tired of me. If I get a phone call here, I'm going to have to go pick her up. It's laundry day today, so I'm the chauffeur for the laundry. I got all my stuff for a hot box today. You guys want to see how I build that? Leave a comment in the comment section. We don't get any shit on this. We don't want to get any shit on this. Now, as I stated before in the first part of this video, I'm going to make a 40 size gear. I need to know what you guys think of how wide to make it and how tall. This will be ready to go in a minute here, and we'll blend this in. I'm thinking about doing that plate on the ears too, but I don't want to make this too heavy. Right now it weighs 1 ounce, and I feel that 1 ounce is on the upper limit. I mean, there's been heavier ones, but you guys know I don't like heavy. I could probably whittle her down a little bit more too. Whittle it down. So whatever I make here is what's going to be produced. So I need to get it right the first time. Gonna be a nice looking gear though. It's an airfoil shape. It's not flat, it's airfoil. I gotta wait for this to dry. I don't want to, I keep sticking my fingers in wet epoxy. Get rid of this. Whew, got hot. Better leave that out in case it catches fire. But this kind of shows you what I go through to make a part. And I need to make some tanks today. But you guys have already seen that, so I don't know how interested you are in that. Now these gear will be weave from top, one side to the other, top and bottom. If you want to paint them, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But I figure I'll do weave, carbon toe, and then weave, and then mash it together in that form. Now, I probably the first gear that comes out ain't going to be perfect, but kind of like the tanks. The first few tanks I made, well, I made some samples, and they weren't that great, but after I figured out how to do it, they turned out perfect. You can read Tom Luciano's review of my tank. So for the 4 guys that are here, this is a 60 gear. See how wide it is? And this is somebody else's 40 gear. This is awful small, I think. So I was going to make it somewhere halfway between. So, well, actually, yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch longer. The ones because I'm going to take this mold and cut the ends off of it and then remake a plug that's narrower for a 40 gear. Now they're all the same price. I know it's just like the tank. If you order a tank, it's 100. That's 4 ounces. It's $100. If you order it 8 ounces, it's $100. Because the material is not what is time consuming. It's all this shit right here, figuring all this crap out. Dude, let's see. I got, today's Tuesday. I got 4 days in making this gear already. And I haven't even produced a part. I got a carbon buck here, plug, but and this more or less gives me what it's going to be like, what it feels like. This one here is pretty darn stiff for a 40. I mean, it's really stiff. Now I made these gear. Oh, I forgot. I stopped at Lowe's on the way back. I'm going to make a hot box. I'm going to get all the shit out of my cabinet there, and I got a heat lamp, a porcelain base to put the heat lamp, screw the bulb into, a dimmer switch, and a mounting plate to mount this thing. So that goes like that, and this will bolt to it's a metal cabinet. While I was there at Lowe's, I looked at 10.3. Hey, go for it. Yo! I looked at 10.3. They wanted $158 for 10 foot. They're out of their mind. I mean, I got some here. $158 for 10 foot of 10.3. That's the orange Romex. I don't think so. When I wired my garage, I wired it with 6.3 with ground. It was $3.50 a foot. I wonder, that was 20 years ago. I wonder how much it is now. Probably $10 a foot. Hold on a second. You calling? No. Somebody outside. I knew my old lady was at the laundromat. This is a bad neighborhood. This be a bad neighborhood. All right, we have the. I just noticed something. There's a smudge on there. We have the plate on the top. I'll mold that in, and that'll be flat when I set the mold. Let me wipe this lens off here. That's better. That's more like it. So you guys put in there, the track on this one, I think was 13.5 between the wheels. What do you guys want to see for a 40 size gear? I got 11 inches on the one I'm thinking about doing. I don't fly 40 size airplanes, so I don't really have a grasp on what they take. Because we ain't making a bunch of molds. We're going to make 2 molds and that's it. So I gotta get it right the first time. Might look on Brodak's website. But yeah, that'll be good. Hey, Phil. Hello, Stomper. I see Stomper is a member. For all the content I do, please consider joining and becoming a paid subscriber. It's $4.95 a month on the low end and $25 a month on the high end. I have very few 25 takers, but I do have a few, and we really appreciate it. That's the wrong stuff. Or the super chats help. Our channel is upside down. Value for the money. Cool. Yeah, I show a lot of stuff. I doubt many of you will be doing this yourself, but you know, I will be selling them, but I'm showing you how to make them if you want to make them. But look to spend about $500 to get in the business of it. So I got to sell 10 gear just to break even. This creel of carbon fiber is $395. 2 gallons of HAC 560 is $200. The HR 250 is $100. The resin to make the gear just goes quick. I guess look to spend $600 or $700 to make some gear. I'm not looking to go in business for this. I'm just looking to supplement my hobby money, you know. Not only that, there's nobody doing this stuff, so all the manufacturers have gone out of business, Bali, and I think there was another one. Brian Ether, he don't make this stuff no more. So what I'm going to do here is add this Acro Green to blend this in, and then coat it with Z-Epoxy and sand it out later this evening. It should be ready to mold up tomorrow. That's the razor blade. Hey, Sparky, do you? Yes. The details of the built-up spar and profile version. No profile. Well, you can make it out of balsa wood. It's not going to be as light. Yeah, there's no profile plans. We didn't do them. That's a one-off airplane. And I haven't even flown the damn thing. I can get the motor to run. You remember I was over here tinkering with the engine, took it back out there, and it won't go. $17 grams each, huh? Well, let's see. Wheel pants should weigh Here's the parting board for wheel pants. You go in just like that. And wheel pants should weigh, you're not going to like me at all, Phil. Six grams. That's what this pant weighs, 6 grams. And yeah, I'm going to make some, but I don't know when. That's pre-preg. Okay. Probably make them out of fiberglass. You don't need carbon fiber for wheel pants. Just in my estimation. Okay. Here I have this more or less blended in. Now we're going to get out the Acro Green and putty it in. make it nice. But then he said just to, yeah, I guess PVA it and then wax it. PVA over the acryl. It'll be fine. So we'll just do that. Keep trying. Landing gear complete. Doesn't matter whether it's wired gear or gear like this. Should be no more than 3 ounces. 3 ounces seems to be the spot where it's going to be. Anything you can get under 3 ounces is a bonus. And that's complete. That's the gear, the wheels, the wheel pants, the doors, whatever. Try to make them 3 ounces or less. Okay. That should look good. Let's see what this weighs. I think it's an ounce. A little over 32 grams. It was an ounce before, but I added these plates. So I can whittle on them. See if I can get them back down to 28. Let's put the aqua green on it and get it setting up. Steve-O, you let the stuff dry out. Ah. Okay, how are we gonna fix this? There we go. We got some mooey coming out of there now. I'm gonna install the headliner in my car, and I got this touch-up paint to paint a spot on my door. You guys want to see that done or not? I mean, it's all modeling as far as I'm concerned. I can do a video on how to replace the headliner and touch up the paint on your car with a spray can, no doubt. But it is the spray can was mixed for me at the body shop, so it is the right color. Now this probably should have been Superfill, but I don't want to wait all day for Superfill to dry. Yeah, we'll just PVA it. I don't want to make it more complicated than I have to. Because this part will never go on anybody's airplane. This is only the mock-up. I just got an email from UPS. My mold material will be here tomorrow by noon. Yep, that'll work. We only got 4 watchers. You still here, Phil? Or did I make you mad? Oh yeah, it's really easy to do. Hardest thing about the job is going to be this is a 2004 Saturn Vue. It's a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Basically, I get to get it out of the car. And of course, the buffing of all the old material off of it. I've got to take good care of that car because, well, first off, it's in really good shape, clean. You know, everything's like new on it. And I can't afford a new car, so it'd probably be my last car in my life. I hope not, but the economy sure don't look good. I'd have to go back to work to buy a car. Got 154,000 miles on it. Brand new tires, brand new brakes, brand new ball joints, brand new shocks, brand new battery. It's got one little scuff on the door. I'm going to take all this shit right here was $100. I got the color matched paint, the 2K clear. This is color matched paint. Sebring Silver Metallic base coat. And then Fastline Clear Coat Blender. And these buckets, sticks and shit. I remember when a can of paint was 69 cents, not $20 or $. I also remember when we had our hobby shop, we were in the Thrifty Mart, Ollie's and Thrifty Mart shopping center, which I looked on Google Maps, looks nothing like it did when I was a kid. Ollie's is not even there. Ollie's was a hardware store, much like Home Depot. And there was an alleyway between the cleaners and the slot car track. I think that's where it was. Or maybe it was the fabric store. Anyway, they would come down to the hobby shop and buy gold spray paint, Tester's gold spray paint, go in that alley, put it in a bag and huff it, and they'd come out and they'd have gold paint around their mouths. Then we had Revell glue, which was the best plastic glue going. You could put 2 drops on a plastic airplane and it would melt the airplane because it was so good. Oh yeah, no need to buy a new car. It was so good. They did away with the Revell glue. Now you can't buy paint unless you're 21. You got to show a driver's license to buy paint. The funny thing is, though, everybody know what TSP is, trisodium phosphate, right? That's the best degreaser for the driveway. You get a box of TSP and you sprinkle it all over the driveway. You hose it down and you scrub it with a broom and hose it off. It's gone. Can't buy that. You used to be able to buy that for 23 cents a box. I think Arm & Hammer made it. Arm & Hammer TSP, 23 cents a box in the supermarket. Now it's a controlled substance. What are you going to do with TSP? Snort it? Snort soap? Might be a while for this to dry. Let me get my heat gun here and give this some help. I want to sand this out. Get a razor blade. Cut that level, I think. Get a razor, we'll use this knife here. It's on pretty thick. Another thing we were talking about this morning, back when I was a kid, there was guns everywhere. I mean, everywhere. We didn't have no shootings. Of course, everybody had a dad then, too. A dad that you were scared of because the beatings would begin if you screwed up. Now there's no beatings. Look what we got. So anyway, with the 7 watchers watching this, we're going to narrow this. We're going to narrow this plug up. What do you think the track width should be? I got it at 11 for the next one, for the next gear, for the 40 size gear. That's right. When I lived in Phoenix, everybody had a pistol on their side. There wasn't much crime. Now it's probably, I don't know. I think the Democrats have taken that over. But here where I'm at in Missouri, no problem. Anyway, give me a close-up for this. Let's switch camera views. The whole gear will look like that. Of course, it's not going to have any acrylic green in it. Like I say, this is the plug for the mold. I'm thinking about using that sheet carbon on the wheel lands too, so that the bolts. It's going to be a high quality gear. It's $50. If you want them, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But that, I got that much time in making them. I guarantee I'll sell them. Hey, Steve, do you fly 40 size airplanes? If you're at home, measure the gear width and tell me what the gear width is. We're going to make it that wide. So this is the one I did out of balsa wood. I need to know how wide the gear are so I can make a set of 40 size landing gear. I'm thinking about making them 11 inches. And I'll just take, well, how I'll fix that. You know, this is the plug for the 60 size. How I'll fix this is I'll put this on my table saw, and I've marked those lines out right there, and cut the end off, and then re-glue on another piece of plywood and a couple of air dams here, you know, dams, and mold up another gear. Once I cut this, this is done and over with. I'd have to make a new one, and I don't want to go through that shit. And I'm also going to make an LW set of landing gear. Anybody tell me what LW stands for? And it would be, I'm also thinking about engraving stun hanger on the bottom of these gear. All I have to do there is maybe put it on one stunt hanger. I'll take my my vinyl cutter and cut out stun hanger and stick it on there before I pour the mold. And so when they come out of the gear, come out of the mold, they'll have stun hanger molded right on them. I guess I could put a 60 here too, for 60 size, and a 40 for the other side. I think I'm going to do that. Stunt hanger. All right, so it goes on this way, so you read. Yep, stunt hanger. It'll just be molded in carbon. It's not going to stick out like a sore thumb. If you want to sand it off, you can. But that way I know if somebody's bitching, it ain't my gear, I don't have stun hanger on it. I gotta get that heat box set up so that I can I unstuck them. I just pried them open, and whatever it was fell out of there. Must have been a chip of wood or something. This gear at the landing pad, where it bolts to the fuselage, is 1/8 inch thick. So you got plenty of purchase for bolts. Just over 10 inches. So you think 11, and how tall is it? If you measure it up this way, how tall is it? Measuring like this. Just over 10 inches. So that's this size here, and I think that's too narrow. It's 10.5. And they measure about 3 1/4. These are 13 3/4, and they measure 5 inches. But I've got quite a bit of leg here, for your wheels. You can cut off a 1/2 inch of that. But we're going to make an LW set of landing gear, and that LW is lumber wagon gear. That means they're going to be stiff as a board. Got to have the lumber wagon gear, because there's plenty of them out there. If I had my hot box finished, I wouldn't have to do this. I could just throw it in the hot box. Shit, I spent $50 on a hot box. But that'll be good for drying other things too. Yeah. 5 inches tall, boy, them are tall gear. All right, no problem. I'll make them 11 inches and it'll be about that. This will take a couple of go arounds here. But I intend to have this ready to go for tomorrow when that mold stuff gets here. I could just start pouring. Not quite ready. Kind of soft yet. All right. Kind of tall gear for a 10-inch prop. Yeah. Another one is 11 inches wide and 2.7 tall, cardinal. The 5-inch tall one is for profile for a Ringmaster 576. Like I said, this is for a 60 size airplane. It's 14 inches, 13 3/4 from here to here. And the height of the rise is 5 1/4. So that would put your spinner 13 inches off the ground. And you guys can cut a 1/2 inch off the bottom if you want. For the 60 or for the 40 size gear, I was going to make them 11 1/4 wide. That'd be 4 inches, 4 1/4 off the deck. Is that right? Yeah, 4 1/2 off the deck. Trust me, this will be right. This one will. Yeah, Viper plans are for sale there. I can't remember who was talking about the Viper. Yeah. Well, I got another gear, come to think of it. I got one on that, my Continental XL, a Meslick gear I could look. You know, I do everything by eye. This is correct, I'm telling you. Let me look at this Meslick gear real quick, if I can get at it. Nope, I can't get at it. So you have to take my word for it. It's buried back. I got 15 airplanes. Anybody want to buy an airplane? I got some for sale. I got my Mega Tucker and the Continental for sale, and High Rollers for sale. A Junar XL for a PA75 is for sale. No engine though. The other two, the engines come with it. What else I got? And that's the Brian Gardner. The Brian Gardner ABC liners in the Mega Tucker, and in the Continental is a PA75. I still also have that brand new piston and liner for a PA75. I can't believe nobody's jumped on this. This is new from Randy. Looks like it's an old, a cylinder that's been reconditioned, but it's a new piston. I'm just asking what I paid for it, 100 and a quarter. And unfortunately, when those motors are gone, they're gone. They're not going to be no more. And in all actuality, I just don't like them big motors. Too much weight. I thought I could make them work, but I can't. I got a P-47 Thunderbolt I'll sell too, but it's not finished, never been flown. It just needs ink and clear. I basically just lost interest when I know it's going to be 70 ounces, 65, 70 ounces. This shit is just not dry enough to sand. Just not dry enough to sand. But we'll get it. I just don't know when. This stuff dries super quick when you just do a pinhead, paint in perfection, but when you try to use it as putty, it's on pretty thick. But it only has to work once, so. Yeah, it's a good gear. That's a good one. If I was going to do this one-off, I'd use this gear. I wouldn't have put that on there. I'd have just glued the plate on it and painted it. Or maybe I would have put it on, but this would crack if you used it. But it's not, like I say, if I was doing a one-off, if this was for my airplane, I'd use it as is, paint it. but we got to make it perfect for the plug so that it comes out right. I guess what I could do, yeah, we'll do that offline. We got 56, 55 minutes in, so you guys don't want to hear me blather on. So, any questions? What's going on? If not, I'll end the stream. I'll cut some stencils. We'll put them the stunt hanger on here on the inside. That'll only be sticking up probably 10,000ths of an inch. Whatever thickness that vinyl is all that's going to stick up off of there. But I think that's kind of a cool feature I could do to distinguish my gear. Stunt hanger, 1/4 inch tall, ever how wide. If you don't like it, sand it off and paint it. Alrighty, that's going to do it for this stream. I'll be back later on this evening. After this dries, I'll sand it up. We'll PVA it, and I'll put on them decals. And maybe we'll start building the dam. I gotta wax it up. So I need to wax it up, PVA it, and then I gotta tack glue the dam to this. So that goes there like so. This gets tack glued to there like so. And we're going to get it clayed up. We'll get it. It'll be fine. Not to worry. It'll be a nice gear. I still got to make some tanks. I got to send 3 to Australia. And 3 of these gear to Australia. I got 1 tank made, so I only need to make 2 more on that order. But if you're watching, these gear will take me about a week to get made, to get production going. I got the tanks down that I can make them pretty quick. I got some kits made up for them already, so I just need to glue end caps on and plumb them, so that's not a big deal. But this here is a new endeavor. And I haven't started making bell cranks yet. I don't know that I want to get involved with it. But I am going to do some wheel fans eventually. And what else we're going to do? I might make a carbon fiber handle. But I'm looking for some of that mushy, thick shit so I can get a mold out of it. If somebody wants a carbon fiber handle, I can make them one for it's going to sound stupid, but $100. I'll send you the clay to hold it to smash in your hand. Then you send that back to me, and then I'll mold it up. Oh, okay. We've been on an hour. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're not a paid subscriber, please consider joining and become a paid supporter. It helps me put out this information. Because the only way to be a millionaire as a hobbyist is start with 2 million. This is a loser. Alrighty, we'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.